afternoon. Today I want to discuss the Labour government and Keir Starmer's first 100 days as leader of the Labour Party. I want to really look closely at the impact his winter fuel payment cuts are going to have on the elderly, and basically really try to assess where Keir Starmer is now, and is he the big socialist we all thought he would be. The first thing Keir Starmer did once he was elected Prime Minister of the UK was rush over to the Ukraine to meet President Zelensky. He had to reassure President Zelensky that the UK was very much behind Ukraine and that they would continue to secure the Ukraine's borders by donating more military arms and more funding to the Ukraine. So that was top priority for Keir Starmer. Second thing which the Labour Party then did was to announce cuts to the winter fuel payment, which was a shock. Most people were left reeling. They actually just couldn't believe that this was happening in real time. And I was one of those people. A staunch Labour supporter. I've always voted for Labour, as has my family. Now, my uncle is directly affected by these cuts. And because he's fiercely independent, he doesn't even know whether he qualifies to receive a winter fuel payment. And he won't allow his family to really go into his finances or help him with online forms in order to get that winter fuel payment if he's entitled to it. Now, I'm sure there are loads of people out there who have relatives that are like my uncles. Now, I just want to give you a brief idea of how my uncle spends his week. So from Monday to Wednesday, he largely spends it alone. On a Thursday, he goes to a social club, which is also a food bank, which typically addresses people from the Caribbean. So he goes there, he'll play dominoes, he'll socialise. He's got friends that go there that are on their own now. Their partners have deceased. And that's what he spends his time doing. And then Friday, Saturday and Sunday, he's alone. He'll make his vegetable soup. He'll eat meat that's been picked up from the food bank. And, he leads a pretty basic, frugal life. Like I said, he's 86, so he gets to watch television now for free. Let's jump back to Labour and let's talk about migration. When Rishi Sunak was in power, leader of the Conservative Party, he attempted to set up a programme which meant that all illegal immigrants were detained in the UK for a very short period of time and then sent to Uganda. Now, of course, the Labour government said that that was inhumane. In fact, many people said it was inhumane. I want to touch on what I consider to be even more inhumane, which is the black market, the black employment market, more to effect, in the UK. A lot of these immigrants disappear into the black market where they are exploited. Sometimes they can be found 10 to 1 room in unsanitary conditions. To me, that's inhumane. Working in conditions that no human being should. Yes, this is going on in the UK. Not only that, Some of these immigrants are given £45 a week to live on. Access to education. Access to medical care. That's also going on at the expense of the citizens that are actually born here in the UK. I consider that to be extremely inhumane. But no one talks about that. Been to A&E lately? Because I have. I've sat there in A&E for 10 hours waiting on treatment. No one talks about that. The Labour government's not even talking about that. So Rishi Sunak's Uganda bill was extremely unpopular. It was dubbed racist. It was dubbed inhumane. So now we've got that, but we seem to be forgetting about our elderly, most of which are struggling to survive and relate in a world that is now basically going online. As I speak, for many elderly, the high street is just disappearing. They've got no local post office that they can go to. Banks are disappearing because it's all going online. So people like my uncle, and there are many, are extremely affected by this new world which we all find ourselves in, having to navigate. Now, it's okay if you're Gen Z. It's okay if you have a good understanding of technology. But if you don't, you happen to be 70, 80, or even 60, you will be suffering. And my biggest fear is that come the new year, we're going to find hundreds of elderly people who don't have relatives, huddled by heaters dead, wrapped in blankets, to the likes that this country has not seen. This is almost, as far as I'm concerned, another pandemic. But it's a discriminatory pandemic because it discriminates against the elderly. Now, Labour claim to be a socialist party. They claim to be the voice of the voiceless. There for those that don't have. But we can see what their first 100 days in office actually looks like. No way am I sitting there saying that the Conservatives have the answer, because I'm not. I'm just raising the issues. Another point in question is the food prices. They're through the roof. Yet petrol has dropped. Is that because they need us to continue going to work? They need those taxes, don't they? They really do. If you feel strongly about this, feel free to drop a note. I'd like you to like, comment, and if you even want to, subscribe. You know, because this is for the people. And I'm just a citizen of the UK, speaking my truth and sharing my facts about how I feel about Labour